All right, here's a good application problem to apply an equation. So we have a piece of steel and it is 29 inches long. So the whole thing is 29 inches. And what we're getting here is that if we add up the three pieces, right, 1, 2, and 3, that will equal 29. So that's how we're going to get our equation. Is we're going to say the first piece plus the second piece plus the third piece is going to give us 29. All right, so we come over here and we make our equation. Now, they were very nice to give us this x, 2x, and 4x plus 1. But a lot of the time, you're not going to get that. You're going to have to read the problem and figure this out. So when we read the problem, we see that we have a 29-inch piece of steel. It's cut into 3 pieces. The second piece is twice as long as the first piece. And the third piece is 1 inch more than 4 times the first piece. So when we do take this steel and we cut it into 3 pieces, we don't know anything about the first piece. So that's why we call it X. Find out the thing you don't know anything about, call it X. The second piece is twice as long as the first piece. So that's going to be 2 times X. And then the third piece is 1 inch more than 4 times the first. So we're going to do 4 times the first and then add 1 more. 4 times the first plus 1. Okay, so 1 more than 4 times the first. All right, now when we add these 3 pieces up, x plus 2x plus 4x plus 1, we're going to get the length of the whole piece, which is 29. And now we just have an equation that we can solve. Okay, distribute, combine like terms, variables to the same side, isolate your variable. So in this case, we don't need to distribute. We can combine like terms. I have 1x plus 2x plus 4x. That's going to give me 7x plus 1 equals 29. And now we need to isolate the variable. Let's get grumpy old x by himself. We will subtract 1 from both sides. One minus 1 will cancel. So on the left-hand side, we have just 7x. Now on the right-hand side, 29 minus 1, that's 28. One more step is to divide both sides by 7. And x equals 28 divided by 7 is 4. Okay, now we found 4, we found an answer, but we have to know what that means. Whenever you're talking about a real-world problem, you always go back and say, what does that mean? So when we look back at this piece of steel and we're cutting it into 3 pieces, well, we found out that x is 4. So this first piece over here is 4. The second piece is 2 times x. So if it's 2 times x, it's 2 times 4, which is 8. So the second piece is 8. And the last piece is 4 times x plus 1. Okay, x is 4. So we have 4 times 4 plus 1. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 17. So our last piece over here is 17. Now here's the cool thing about word problems. When you get your answer, it has to make sense. So what happens if you do 4 plus 8 plus 17? Do it in your calculator, see what you get. $29. Okay, so the whole board, every inch is accounted for. So you find out what they're asking you. In this case, they're saying find the length of the pieces, and they are going to want first piece is 4, second piece is 8, third piece is 17. Be careful, because sometimes they might only ask you what's the length of the third piece. right? Or what's the length of the second piece?